I thought of taking a new question today for the same string operations we were seeing. I think I took two simple programs in the last class. In this class, we will be starting with another program. Okay, I just want to show, let's use these programs to understand how to break down bigger programs into smaller ones. So I've created a new project called string operations. In that one, I'm going to take this question which you have received. I think I put it in practice questions. Let me just open that. Uh, yes, I think got a practice question. So let me just choose this PDF. I think one of those programs are string operations. So I'll take one of those string operations today. I think we'll take this. This is something which we have. I think you would have done this in other languages. Let me just try that same thing in C sharp. Let me just take the question once again. I hope you can see the question. Okay, it is this fifth question which I had forwarded to you guys. Okay, the input would be a particular sentence, and you have to write a program to take a string input and sort them based on the number of characters in each word and mention the count of letters in a word at the end. I hope this question is clear to all of you. There is an input. It'll be a sentence, a full-fledged sentence, and you will have to first of all you will have to divide it or sort it into not using alphabetical sort. By default, sort is alphabetical, so which means A will come first, and uh, I think O or I will come next, something like that it should go. But this sorting, what they are expecting is to sort based on the number of characters in each word. Okay, and then group them and then put how much is each word's length. That's what they're expecting. So let's do this program. Before we write the code, I need you to understand what is the question and how do I divide this into small pieces. Okay, note this. If they tell, there is two possibilities. One, they tell you to use inbuilt functions, or they tell you not to use inbuilt functions. I am going to assume that they have told you not to use inbuilt functions, and then I'm going to start with this program. I hope the question is clear, guys. So I'm going to take this question as my reference. Okay, so let's go and start this program. What is the let me just come back to the Visual Studio part. Just think, what is my requirement here? I need to take a sentence from the user, which means the user will not be entering in different words. He'll be entering in one shot, which means I need to take one input from the user. So let me take that from the user. Let me just tell him to enter a string. Okay, so I'll just say enter a string right now. You can convert or change the words into whatever you want. Okay, let me create a simple string called as the given sentence or the sentence. Okay, so let me say given is equal to console dot read line. The entire line, you will be reading whatever is written in the console and then store it in given, and you will pass the cursor to the next line. That's all I'm done in the first two lines. Now I've got the sentence. Can I print whatever is there in the sentence? Okay, let me see whether if it's possible for me to print everything in the sentence. But as you know, string is a character array. It's an array of characters. So if I loop through this particular, the string what you have got, it will loop through each and every character in that particular string. So if I write something like this, for each character, okay, I cannot write for each string in collection because it is a string. String is a character collection. So I'm going to say item, let it be item. In collection is my string name. The string is given. So I'm just going to print console.writeLine item. If I print like this, okay, let's see what is the output. Please understand what I'm trying to do here is take the sentence, what the user has given, and then print every character in that. That's the requirement. So you see that I've typed something. Okay, and when I press enter, what am I expecting as the output? Okay, you need to picturize how it will be coming as an output. For each character, print one line and go to the next line. So when I press enter, you would see that this is the output. Each character is printed in one line because you're iterating through the characters. I think you understood that from the last programs. But what I'm expecting here is not that. My question here is to take the input from the user, and then you'll have to first divide my program into parts. Okay, so let's divide the program into small parts. What is the first part? I want you to sort the sentence what the user has given. How will I sort it? Okay, if you want to sort it, you cannot keep in a string and then sort it. If you convert it into a string array, probably you can sort it. But just as a string, it's very difficult to sort it because it's character arrays. It's difficult to find out spaces and all those things. It will be too annoying for us to do. So what should I do? Number one, I'll have to split that particular sentence into an array, a string array. I hope you are following so far. Okay, I need to split this into a string array. How do I convert it? Okay, there are two ways. Number one, inbuilt function. You know that in the last class we had discussed about that. So if I use an inbuilt function, I can use it in one line, I can finish that problem. But then if they tell you not to use, then you'll have to write your own method. Let me first use with an inbuilt function just to show you how it is possible. So let me create a string array. Okay, so here I will just say this is the one which is converted from a string into an array. So let me just say word array just for a, I'll remove this. Okay, so anyway, word array is equal to, I'm going to call that given sentence, okay, whatever you have given, dot split. Split is an inbuilt function which we have. Okay, and what am I supposed to pass and what will I get back for the split function? You are supposed to pass a character by which you are splitting that sentence. Return type you will get, please note, not string, you get a string array. Okay, this is the idea. So I need to just say, for example, how am I splitting a sentence? This sentence particularly, I'm going to split using space. So I'm going to put a space. It's a character array, so I'm putting single quote. That's enough. Right now, what you have done is you have converted whatever the user has given as a sentence, and I've split that based on space in between. For example, if they say tiger is the national animal, so if I give tiger space is space the, so what happens? Tiger will be one word, is will be one word, because space is the delimiter here, and based on the space, I'm splitting my sentence. Now, how will I loop through this array and see the output? Just change this for each item. Okay. By the way, inside this array, it's not characters, it is strings. So I'm going to say for each string item in the collection of data is not given because string cannot be looped through a string itself. You need a string array. So I'm going to change it into word array. That's it. Then print the item. So let's see what happens here. Let me run the program. Okay. So let me just say here. Now what you see as the output, if you notice, I entered a string like this. And for each element in the array, so what happened in the array, hi is put in one as an element, how is put in one as one element, r is put as one element, and u is put as one element. So I'm going through each and every element in that particular array and I got the string array. Okay, but then that's not what I mean, this is very simple in one sentence, but please note most of the, I mean, if at all they say that you cannot use inbuilt functions, then you will have to write your own way of writing that split function. That will be my first target, splitting a full sentence into, or converting the given string into a word array. That will be my first step. I hope this is clear. Okay, what will be the second step? The second step would be to sort that elements in the array. Right now I've got an array. I need you to sort it not based on alphabets. By default, sorting means based on alphabets like A, B, C, D, in that way, ascending order of alphabets. But this question changes that sorting into sorted based on the size of each word in that array. This is the next requirement. So how will I do that? Okay, that will be my second word. Okay, second thing is to sort the elements in the array based on the size of the elements in the array. That's all. That's the second step. Third step here is after every similar sized elements, you need to input one more word, which is the length of that particular word. Okay, that's the last requirement. So I have three steps. Number one, split them, split the words. Number two, sort them, sort those words. Number three is that to group them. Okay, let me just open that question once again so that you can get a clarity on this. Okay, first step is to split this into different elements in a string array, then sort them, because if you see the output, it is sorted like 2-letter words first, 3-letter, 4-letter, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've sorted based on the size of the words, not the words itself. It's not bothered about the word, it's bothered about the size of the word. Okay, that's the second step. The third thing is that after every, for example, these are two length, the length of these three words are 2. So I'm grouping them and putting this 2 here. Then again 3, then 4, 5, 6, like that it goes on. Now this is our requirement. So what should I do with this thing? So let's start with the first simple thing, splitting. Okay. Since I have three functions to be written on this, let me not write it here. Let me write it in a separate file. Okay. By the way, first please note that I'm assuming that they're not allowing you to use a split function. So instead of using the inbuilt method called given.split, I'm going to write my own method. So let's start with the solution explorer. Let me add a new C# file so that I can write all my functions there. Okay, so let me just call class. Okay, let's write another class and I'll name it as functions or operations, whatever you want to name it as. Okay, it's for your understanding. You can keep them as any CS file you want. I'm just creating a simple class called functions so that it's very clear. This functions.cs holds all the logic of my program. So now let's write the first method. What will be the first method? The first method is to split. Okay, if the user or the interviewer or the question says that you cannot use inbuilt function, then how would you convert an existing string into a list of string based on a particular character? How will I do that? Let's write it. Okay, let's write a simple method. I'll say public. Okay, what you are expecting as an input and what is the output? We have already seen how it works. It takes, the input will be to give a particular character, this one, but here I know which character I'm splitting it based on. Basically, I'm going to give a string and I want a string array back. So what I want back is a string array. So I'm going to say string array and I'm going to keep this method name as split words. Okay, you can give whatever meaningful name you want. I'm just giving it as split words. Based on what? Based on a given string. So I'm going to say string given. Whatever you pass to this, I'll take that and then split them and then return to you as a string array. This is my requirement and this is my simple method. Now, first thing, okay, let me first remove, normally I tell you this, okay, never keep writing a program when there is an error shown. Okay, let's fix that and then we'll proceed. What is the problem with this program? Right now, it's just telling that it does not return a value. Okay, so what is the value you're expecting? You're expecting a string array. All right, so, or you should first write return null if you don't want to take care of all these things right now. You can just say return null and then start working. And once you finish it, then remove that null and then put your own code. Okay, I normally recommend this because I don't want you to work when there's an error right now showing in the ID. Okay, so let me keep it like this. Later we'll fix it, how to fix this. All right, so now, now comes the biggest question. All right, so far whatever array we have created, we all knew what was the size of that array. But if you take this particular program, there is a small confusion. Let's say that if I enter, I am fine. Okay, the first sentence I'm giving, I am fine. There are three words in this, or three. I know that there will be three words taken from this particular sentence. Now, another one is, hi, how are you? There are four words, but I don't know what you'll be entering, right? So I'm asking the user to enter the value. What if the user enters four words or five words or 10 words? I'm not sure how many words he'll be entering. So if I'm not sure what is the size of the array, how can I create an array? All right, please note, if you remember the syntax what I gave for C# creating an array, it should be a fixed length. It cannot be a dynamic one. It has to be a fixed length and you should know the length. Here I don't have any way of knowing the size of the array. Why I'm saying, you might think that the string is passed. The string is passed, but string might have like 100 words, but I don't want to create an array of 100, but because I want to split them based on space and put them inside different uh, array elements. Okay, so this is not possible with a string or a normal array. Okay, that's where you bring in a list. That's why I told you earlier also. Okay, the difference between an array and list, the first difference you will be remembering is that it is a fixed length. Array is fixed length. List is dynamically created. Okay, so it's a dynamic array. So let me just use a list. It's very simple, just like Java you can use. Okay, instead of using the word array list, I can just create something like this. Okay, please note, in order to use this list, you should have this import statement on the top, system.collections. Okay, what we are working with right now is called collections. All right, it's a collections, it's generic, which means general type of collections. Okay, these are general types of collections: list, linked list, sorted list. There are lots of inbuilt things in C#, but since you know that they will not allow you to use all these inbuilt functions, I'm going to use list is allowed because list is just a class. Okay, and let me just use list of what type. Please note what they are saying is list of T. T means the type of elements in that list. I'm going to create a list of string elements. Okay, so let me call this list as a, result. Okay, and let me create a new list. It's simple. Why am I using a list? Again, I'm repeating, list is dynamically allotted, which means you need not bother about the size of the number of elements what the user is entering. But if you are adamant of using a string, you will have a tough time because there is no such thing as a dynamic array in C#. At least it's not recommended to use that, because whenever you know the size of a length of the array, then you can use an array. But if you don't know the length of how many elements you'll be storing in that, it's better not to. Okay, so let's use a list, and all I'm going to do here right now is I'm going to take everything into a temporary value. Please note, I'm going to go through every word in that, every word, please not, in other words, every character in that sentence. And when I find a space, I need to concatenate them, or put that word, so far what I've got, inside a list. Okay, so let me just write the code, just see whether you can follow it. I'm going to create a simple string called temp, and I'll initialize it to null or blank. Reason is because you cannot assign a value without initializing it first here in string. So let me just write a simple for each. Okay, so for each character in the given string. Okay, I hope you follow till this. All right, so for each character in this particular given string, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if the character is a space. If the character is a space, okay, I will not write that if part, else part I'll write. If it is not a space, keep adding that character to the temp. Okay, let me write the code and see if you can follow it. I'm going to write if item is equal to space. Single quote, single quote. Why I'm using single quote is because I'm looking at a character here. All right, so if the this is space, you need to do something, else you need to do something else. I hope this if else is clear. If it is a space, then you have to do something, otherwise you have to do something else. If it is not a space, first, for example, I'm typing hi. Okay, h was the first character which will come. H is not a space, so it will come to else. What should I do here? Take the temp and then concatenate that with item. That's all we are expecting. Okay, which means temp is initially blank, and you typed hi. I took h and I took here, I said sorry, whether it is a space, it is not a space, then I'll just add h to temp. Okay, please note, not add, I'm appending h to temp. That's it. All right, second time I'm running, it's I. Okay, I needs to come here. I will be iterated. I is not a space, so I will also be added to temp. Now what happens? Now what happens is hi has been added to temp. Temp is right now saying hi. All right, now next is be a space, right? So when it is a space, I'm again coming through the loop. Space is there. What should I do if there is space? Okay, all I need to do is right now whatever is there in that temp, add it to that list. I hope you follow. All right, if that is a space, whatever you have built so far, add that to the result. Done. All right, and then reset that temp back to blank. Done. Our work here is done. Okay, now when you reach the last line, for example, you has been added to temp. Okay, hi, how are you? All these things will be working because you're splitting based on the space. But after you reach the last line, there is no space after the last word. For example, hi, how are you? Use after that there is no space. So what will happen? Come out of the for loop and then write the same thing once again. Result dot add temp. Done. Now at the end, if you see after this loop is over, what is there in result is nothing but the words have been split and has been stored here in result. But please note your return type is a string. Okay, so you cannot return a list. So what should I do? There are two choices. One, you can loop through every element in this list and then create a new string, because right now by this end of the program, you will know what is the result size. Then it is easy to pass. Okay. But if you don't know what is that, you can also use an inbuilt function. There is an inbuilt function called toArray. So I can just call that list and then say dot toArray. If this is not allowed, I'll show you another way also right now, but just make sure that if you have understood this logic. Okay, so just can you go through this program and understand? I'll show you how it works, but before running, you should be able to see how it works. All right, I'm going to take each and every element. Let's say I'll just type the word here so that you can see. Imagine this is my statement. Hi, how are you? Okay, imagine this is my input. How will this be processed here? Just let's just assume how it works. Then we'll see the output shortly. I created a string list. Okay, a result is here, and then I created a temporary value called blank. And for each character, I am going to loop through. Okay, first when you go high, h will go inside. So what happens? It is not space, so it will do this. It will just add that h to the temp and then come out. Okay, not come out. It will just loop again. I let's take I is not a space, so it'll add that to the temp. Then next, what character are you facing? You're facing a space character. If it's a space, what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to add whatever is there in temp right now. What is there in temp right now? Hi. That has been added to result. So one element in the list of string has been added as the temp value. And then right now hi is there. I don't want, next word will be how I'm looking for. So I'm going to skip this. So I'll just say reset temp back to blank and then continue to the loop. Next loop will be h. Okay, so again, it's not, as long as it's not a space, I'll keep adding it to the temp. And once I find the space, I'll add it to the result and then reset it back and then continue. So imagine here also, when I find the space, R will be added. Now, next time U is running, let's take this part on. This is the very important part. Y. Y is taken, Y is not space, Y is added to the temp. O is taken, O is added to temp. U is taken, U is added to the temp. And it comes out of the for each, because you have finished all the characters in the given string. Okay, now what happens to the U? U is not added to temp yet because that's the last word. The last word is automatically added at the last line. As soon as you come out of the loop ends here. Once you come out of the loop, I'm adding that last word also to the temp. Done. Sorry, to the result using temp. Now, result has all my elements in that list. I hope this is clear. Okay, just see that, and if you don't understand, you can ask me later once again. Okay, but anyway, let me just continue. This is one way of returning a list to an array. Okay, now what is another way? How can I make it a different way? Okay, instead of using inbuilt function called toArray, what can I do? If I have a string array and I have a string list, how can I convert them without using an inbuilt function? It's a simple one. Create a string array first. Okay, so I'm going to name it as result array. All right, is equal to, please note this is how you're creating an array in C#, new string array. You need to give the size. Okay, that's important. You have to give the size. Okay, by now I know what is the size because I have the list. I can just call the list and say give me the count of elements in that. Now I've created a proper string array because I know the count. Why I didn't use an array in the beginning is because here I don't know what is the number of possibilities I can get, or number of words you have entered based on the space. Here I don't know it. Here I know it. So I'm creating a string array. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to just write a for each. For int I equal to 0, I is less than that result dot count. Okay, for each element in that list, what am I supposed to do? Okay, you can why I'm not using for each here is I want the index. That's why I'm using for I. If I don't care about the index, I use for each. Here I have to use for because I want the index. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to say result array of I is equal to result of I. I'm assigning whatever is returned from the list, whatever is there in list of 0, I'm putting it in result array of 0. And it goes on till how many ever elements you have in your list. That's it. At the last line, instead of writing result array, you can just say result to array. I'm going to say result array, which is a string array. Our work here is done. Okay, I hope this is clear. All right, so this is our simple method which will take an input as a string and returns a string array. Let's check if it works. Let me go back to the file, the main file here. Here I used an inbuilt function, but instead of that, let me just try to use our own function. So I'm going to call or create an object of functions. All right, so I'll just say f is equal to new functions. I've created a new object, and then instead of using this, I'm going to say f dot split words. That's our method. I hope you can see that. Okay, okay, so you have split words. And what am I supposed to pass to split words? The function which we have created, you give a string and I'll split that and I'll return it as a string array. So let's try that. Let's take the whatever the user has entered and give it to this particular method. Done. Let me run the program and check if it works. Yes, the program is running. Let me just type hi, how are you, or some word. Okay, you can type whatever you want. Now you see that there is all the words which I have entered are right now put or split into strings. Okay, without using inbuilt function. All right. So if you are using inbuilt function, I would have finished this in 1 minute that you saw first how we did this. But here you see without using inbuilt function also, we have created our own function to split that word into small pieces. Okay, that's it. That's the first step of our program. All right. Now, see, since I'm explaining and doing this, it's taking time. But if you know how the logic works, you can finish it in no time. All right. That small method can be written easily. Number one. Now, what's the second method? Okay, the second method is going to be something which you have learned for a long time. Sorting. Okay, let's do a sorting. Right now, I've done splitting without using an inbuilt function. Let's do sort. Okay, so let's go to the second function. I'm going to write public. All right, so when you sort, what you're going to pass and what you're going to get back. Okay, please note I cannot use an inbuilt function called sort because the inbuilt function sort, I'll show you that also. I think it's better to show that before writing our own function. Here, please note that the word array can also be sorted. Okay, so I can just write, I think there is an inbuilt function. Just give me a minute. Word array is equal to array dot sort. Okay, there is an inbuilt function called array dot sort. I just need to pass that word array. All right, so if I pass this word array, it will return. I mean, this is not a return type. It's just array dot sort. That's all. This is a small function. I hope you can see this. I can just say sort the array, word array. All right. So for this statement, let me use this as the example itself. Tiger is our national animal. We'll take this as our I think this will take as our input for all the programs anymore. Okay, so let me just take this and let's try to run. Okay, please note I took the word, I split it using my function. Now I'm trying to sort it using whatever is available in our system. Well, how will the system sort it? Let me just press enter. You can see how the system has sorted it. The system has sorted it using alphabets. I hope you can notice that, right? Okay, it is sorting based on the alphabets because that's the sorting which is inbuiltly written inside your arrays dot sort. Okay, that's an inbuilt function. Okay, but that even if they are allowing me to use this, it doesn't make sense because I'm not getting the logic or I'm not getting the output what I'm expecting. So what should I do? Okay, so I need to write my own logic here. So I'm going to skip this part. Let's write our own logic. So let me go back. I hope you follow what I did. Okay, so let me just write a simple sort words method. Okay, so let's write public. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to write public. All right. What am I going to pass and what I'm going to return back? I'm going to give you an array. You're going to sort that array and give me back the same array. So I'm going to write string array. Okay, please write. I'm going to write a string array and then I'm going to say sort words. And I need to pass what? I need to also pass a string array. Okay, so let me name it as given. What is given as string array? Okay, you give me a string array. I'll sort it and I'll return it back to you. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. So how do I write this? Okay, please note I'm going to take this string array and return it later. Okay, so I'm going to just write return given. In between this code, I'm going to write the code to sort that given array. That's all. Okay. I hope till now I'm clear. Let me just go into, let's just revise what we have seen in sorting in data structures, or I think you would have learned this. I'm going to take the simplest way of sorting, bubble sort. I hope that's easier for you to understand. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to write two for loops. Okay, I hope everybody knows bubble sort, and not explain this is what I'm feeling. Okay, so let me just do a simple bubble sort. In order to do bubble sort, you know that you need a temporary value, right? So let me just create a string called temp is equal to blank. I'll keep this as my temp value. Okay, so my temp value is ready. Give me 1 minute. Yes. Okay. All right. String temp value is there. Now you know how bubble sort works. Okay. You need to take the first two elements and then see whether which is the smallest, and then you swap it and then go to the next two and then go to the next two and then repeat it again and again till everything is sorted. All right. So that's what we are going to do. First, first loop requires an I. Okay. So let me just write for I is equal to 0, I is less than given is the string array what you have got, dot length. That's the first loop. Inside this, you need another loop. Okay, so I'll just write for j is equal to 0, j is less than given dot length minus I, if you know, remember that, minus I minus 1. I guess I need not explain these things because it is normal bubble sort code what I'm writing. But normally we do bubble sort with numbers. Alright, but this we are doing with a string. But please note our question also is something like that. It doesn't care what you have written inside the sentence. It is only looking at the size of the words. So it's easy for me to use a bubble sort here. Let me show you how. I'm going to just say if given, that's the array, okay, of I, or let's not, sorry, j, because it's inside this loop. So I'm going to say if given of j dot length, please note, first time when you run, 0 is given to j is the first index, okay, 0, the first element, and you want to compare it with the next element. So I'm going to say dot length is greater than given of j plus 1 dot length. I hope this condition is clear. If j dot length is greater than j plus 1 dot length, first element is greater than the second element. That's what we are trying to compare here. If the first element is greater than, then I will swap. If it is not greater, if it's less, then I need not swap because I'm just comparing two elements at a time. And the first two elements, if I see that the first element and the second element, first is greater than the second element, which means I have to swap it. Okay, so then I will swap if I require. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that temp value is equal to given of j. Whatever is there right now in that value, the first one, I'm going to take it and keep it there. If the second, if I'm going to take that, I'm going to take that into the next one. You know the temp equal to I and I equal to j and j equal to temp, all these things. Okay, so I'm going to just say temp equal to given of j. And then given of j is equal to given of j plus 1. This is typical bubble sort, guys, so I'm not explaining much. Okay, given of j plus 1 is equal to temp. Done. Our bubble sorting is done. That's it. If I return now given, you will see that after this full loop is closed, you will see that the words are sorted based on the size because I'm not looking at the words. Please note, I'm taking every word and then looking at the length of that word or the, because it's an array, right? So I'm going to take every, for example, if I say given of 0, it will return one word. I'm taking that word and then applying the length on it. Okay. So that's all. I've done bubble sort. Let's check whether it works. Let me go back to the program here and then let me call the sort on that particular function. So I'm going to write string array called sorted array is equal to f dot sort words. What I need to pass is the word array. Okay, so here let me go through every element in the sorted array and see whether it works. So let me just run this. I'll take this as my input. Okay, I think we got what we require. The first three elements are two letters. The next element is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So based on the length of this particular, what do you call, the sentence what we have got, I have sorted it. Okay, the sorting function is done. It's a simple bubble sort which we have used. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, so please do just revise your bubble sort and your bubble sort work is done. Okay. Now let's go to the last part of this program. It's very, two things we have done right now is I've split the words, I've sorted the words. But the next one is a little bit more tricky than normally what we used to encounter. Okay, let me just show that. This much I have done. Without the numbers, we have done. Okay, without the numbers, we have just taken everything into split it into small pieces where two letter words are grouped and then 3 and 4 and 5. Okay, so just to understand how this works, you need to make sure that we understand the logic part. So let me just open an Excel so that we can see how that structure is kept. Okay. All right. I hope you can see the Excel sheet. Let me just quickly change the size and stuff. Okay. Let me just take some words. Okay, let me just put that so that it's clear to you. Okay, so all right, I hope it is visible. Let me just zoom in. Okay, let's imagine this is the array. Okay, and let me type something inside it. Okay, so I'll just keep it like this. Let's say that the first, now I'm just storing length of the array. Okay, please note I'm not storing the values. I'm just telling that let's store the length 2, 2, 2, and then 3, and then 4, then 5, then 6. Let's say there are 2, 6, and then there is 7. Okay, this is the word length. Imagine this is the word size of what I have. All right, so let's see the index and the count also. So just for that understanding, I'll just say 0, 1, and we have till this is sorry this will be the index, and I'm going to type 1, 2. This is the count on the top. I'm going to keep the count. This is to understand how this program is working. So this is the count. Okay, length of the item. Okay, and this is the index. Just think this is the okay. Let's have it. All right, so anyway, I'm just going to keep this here. All right, so you can see that I have index and all the count so that you have a clear idea of how these numbers work. All right, just think this is the array which I have right now, sorted array. Okay, how it is sorted? It's sorted based on the size of everything which is here. Now your requirement, if you see, your requirement says that you have to print equal sizes first and then also mention the count of letters in a word at the end. Okay, so let's do that. How will I do that here? Okay, let's see the output. Okay, I'm going to just tell the logic first here with this. I hope this the array part you're understanding. Let me just take it through. Okay, so all I need to do is first take the first value and the second value. I'm not going to swap anything. The array remains as it is. I just need you to take the first value and the second value, okay, and check whether they are same. If they are same, print the first value as it is. Okay, then take the second one. Second and third, compare. Both are same, then print the second one as it is. All right. Now, what's the next one? Next one is compare this and this. Okay, so when I compare this, both are not the same. So what I need to do is print this and also print the size outside. I hope you follow. Okay, I'm going to print the size after that. Okay, if it's confusing, let me just repeat it. Okay, let me write everything in one line itself so it's clear. Let me merge and center. So here, all right, the first, I'm going to compare each element with the next element. So if I'm comparing 2 with 2, both are same, the size is same. So I'm going to print 2 once. Okay, next, I'm comparing this 2 and this 2. Again, the output will be the same element of the second one. I'm going to print as it is. Comparing third and the second element and the third element. I'm talking about index. Okay, I'm going to compare these two. They are not the same. So what should I do? I should print 2 and also I need to print the size as 2. This is one grouping. Next, again the same logic. Compare this element with the next element. When I'm comparing, if they are not the same, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to print that element, then print the size of the element. And it goes on. Let's say that I've reached here 5 and 6. What happens here? Okay, let me just remove this. If I've removed 5 and 6, I'm going to check. They are not the same. So I have to print 5 and then print the size of that particular element 5 and then next 6. Compare that to the next element. It is if I say compare 6 with 6, they are both the same. So I'll just print 6 and go to the next line. Okay, here 6 and 7, which means these two have been there. Let me print 6 and then say there are 6. All right, it goes on like this, guys. I hope you follow. Let me show you the output. Let me write the code and then come back to this Excel sheet. All right, so let me write the last one. Okay, the last one is going to be a little bit different. What we are going to do here is we are going to print the words with length. Okay, so let me write a simple method which will take a string array but will return a normal string. Let me just return a normal string. Okay, the output, or I'll just name it as print words with length. Okay, I hope you follow the word. I'm just something which is meaningful for you. That's all. I'm going to pass a string array which is given. Okay, now please compare. All right. What I'm going to do is you are going to give me a string array. I'm going to take that and I'm going to print the words with the length of that right next to it. So what will I return? I'll return a normal string with everything. So since I'm returning a normal string, I can just create, to avoid this error, I can create a result string and then say, let it be blank and return that result. Okay, I'm going to write every code in between these two lines so that I don't get error when I'm typing the remaining part of the code. Okay, now this is going to be a little tricky if you don't understand what I said here. Okay, I am going to read the code for you, but I'm going to keep this, here it is. Okay, so I'm going to write for I is equal to 0, I is less than the sorted array dot length. Okay, the length is 9. I hope you can see that length I'm saying, not index. Index is 9 minus 1, 8. Okay, so you just see that I'm going to loop through every element in this particular array. First thing. Second, I cannot compare when I reach the last element. You know that how I was comparing. I was just comparing the first element with the next element. So I'll be writing I is not equal to I plus 1. But when I reach the last element, if I write I is equal to I plus 1, it will go out of bounds. Okay, nothing is there here. So which means I'll get an out of bound exception, which is wrong. All right, so I need to be very careful to say that if it reaches the last element, do not go and check the next element. Okay, I hope you follow. Till this, I can do that. If I reach this element, I can go and check the next element. But when I reach this element, I cannot go and check the next element. So that will be my first condition. And how will I check? I'm going to check the first element with the next element or whatever element you are giving. For example, I'll say index of 0 is not equal to index of 0 plus 1. And 1 is not equal to 1 plus 1. And it goes on like this as a loop. All right. So if if they are equal, what should I do? If they are not equal, what should I do? Okay. Please understand that if it is equal, if they are equal, print this and go to the next one. That's all. You just need to print this element and then go to the next item. But if they are not equal, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to print this element and also print the length of whatever that element is. I hope you follow. All right. There are only two conditions, guys. If you understand that, it is very simple. If the first element and the second element are same, just print the first element and then go to the next iteration. Okay. But if the first element and the next element are not the same, then print this anyway, that will be there, but also print what is the length of this and then proceed. Okay, let me do that in code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a simple for loop. For I is equal to 0, I is less than given dot length. Given is the array. Please note, given is a string array. So string array dot length. So how many ever words you give me, I'm going to take each word, because please note it is a sorted array. Okay, you've already sorted and then you're passing it to this. So since it's a sorted array, I can just simply write this code. Okay, I hope you follow what I'm writing now. I'm going to write a simple if condition. Okay, if I, the index, is less than sorted, sorry, not sorted. Here I've just used the word given. Okay, the given sorted element, this string array what you pass is already sorted. So I'm going to say given dot length minus 1. Okay, now I'll keep this. Just let's go back and check. Given item dot length will return 9, minus 1 is 8. Okay, my condition what I've written is if the index is less than 8, when its index is 8, less than 8 is 7. When it is still less than 8, it will run. When it reaches here, it will not run. That's my if condition doing there. I hope you can follow. If I is less than given dot length minus 1. Okay, I'll show it again. Length minus 1 less than that minus 1. Okay, so just take this example. 9 is the length. Length minus 1 is 8. Okay, and less than 8 is 7. So till this, you can run inside this if condition. But what if I go equal to or greater than? What should I do? The moment you go outside this condition, you will write something else. I hope this if else is proper, because without understanding this, I cannot go to the next part. Okay. So as long as the first time when you run the program, I hope you can see the code. I'll just take this. If I is less than given dot length minus 1, I is index. initially it is 0. 0 is less than, given dot length minus 1 is 8. Is it less than 8? Yes. Till it is less than 8, you keep on going. When will it not be less than 8? When it reaches 8. Okay, which means it will come out of that if condition and go to the else part. That's the first condition I've written. All right, the second part. Let's go inside that if condition. If till that, what am I supposed to do? It's very simple. As I told in words, I'm going to put it in code. If given of I dot length, okay, is not equal to given of I plus 1 dot length. If the first element size is not equal to the second element size, what am I supposed to do? Okay, please note, if the first element size is not equal to second element size, what am I supposed to do? Okay, that's one. What if they are same? What am I supposed to do? Else. I'll write an else condition. That's it. So if the first element and the next element are not in same size, you have to do something. Otherwise, you have to do something else. So what am I supposed to do? Okay, please note, I've created a result string here. Let's just concatenate with that. So all I'm going to do here is if both are same, if the first element and the second element are same, what am I supposed to do? Print the first element and then continue. That's all. So I'm going to say result plus equal to whatever you have got from the given array. Okay, concatenate that with the space, because otherwise it will not add space and it will all come together. So I'll just print that word which is there. Please note, I am converting from a string array to a string itself. In string array, they are all kept in elements, but when you're printing them together without putting a space, it will all come together. So I'm just giving a space there. That's all. So I hope this condition is clear. If the length of the first element and the second element are same, print the first element as it is. That's all I've done here. What if it's not the same? What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to still print this, but only one thing extra is I have to print the length also. So let me write that here. I'll write the same thing which I've written here. Let me copy paste it here. Okay, I have to print whatever is there. This condition does not change. It is still there. But only one difference is that you also have to print sorted. Sorry, I'm just telling it sorted because it's a sorted array which I'm passing. Given of I, that given array dot length. You have to print the length also if the size is not the same. Okay, and after giving length, again you need the space, because without space it will just come all close together. You can just type without the space also, but you cannot ignore this. If you ignore this, it will be a problem, because you're concatenating a string with the number. Unless you put this, the system will parse it as a number itself. All right, so that's it. The last part, one else condition is still free. I hope this is clear. As long as it's not the last element, you are going to check one element with the next element. As long as it's not the last element, you're going to check one with the next element. If they both are same, you're going to print this, the first element, and then go to the next iteration. Okay, but if they are not the same, you're going to print this and also print the size of that particular element and then go. Okay, so let's just come back and see what should I write in the else part. What if I have reached the last element? What am I supposed to do? If you have reached the last element, it's very simple. Print the last element with its size. Okay, same code what I've written here. I'm going to copy that and paste it outside. That's it. Our work here is done. Okay, let me run the program and check if it works. Okay, that's all. I'll repeat again. What you're writing in the else part is, if you have reached the last line, what am I supposed to do? Print that and print the last lines, last words length, and then come out. That's it. Okay, so let's run the program and check. Okay, so I have three functions inside that. Okay, so here you see I took the user gave an input. I took that, I split it into a word array, and I took that word array and passed it on to my sort words method, and I got a sorted array. Okay, now the next step what I need to do is very simple. Okay, all I need to do is print whatever I've got. So let me just comment this for each. Okay, all I need to do right now is console.writeLine. Okay, I need to print one string. Please note that method returns a string, not a string array. I can just print it in one line. So I'm just going to call the function and then say print words with length. That's our method name. Okay, so let's call that. And inside that, what parameter I need to pass? I need to pass the sorted array. So I'm going to just pass sorted array. Okay, check whether the brackets are balanced before you go for printing. All right, that's it. Let's check the output. While the time it runs, I'll copy this code. Okay, now let's see whether it works. I'm going to just paste that and press enter. Okay, I hope we have got what we wanted. Okay, the first three letters are two is the length of those three. So I printed three and then I printed two. Then check whether it is same. Second and third are not the same. So print the third word and then print the size also along with it. And it goes on like this. Okay, so now I'm going to do a small change to that end also. Okay, these are all words. So let me just change the word into something else. Let's add one more word there. Okay, the last element. So that, I mean, most of them are not repeating. So let me just repeat one more. I'll just say national, rational, animal. Okay, now let's see the output. Again, these two elements are of 8 size. Okay, so you can see that these three elements of 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, 6, 7 and 8. Done. So our work here is done, but please note the program looks small here because you wrote everything in that other one. I just split it into small pieces. Okay, so most of you prefer writing in one shot. Okay, but if you could split that, how would you split the code into small pieces? This is how I would do it. Okay, so you can keep it as three different ones. If they allow you to use inbuilt method, this method is not required at all. You can just use these two methods and finish it off. Okay, I hope this code is clear. With this, we will stop for today. If you have any questions, please do ask.